Let's talk about a feeling I bet a lot of you know really well. That feeling that you're just too much, right? Too sensitive, you think too hard, you feel too deeply. But what if I told you that's not a flaw? What if it's actually a feature of how you're built? I mean, does this ring a bell? That constant inner conversation going on in your head, walking into a room and just feeling the vibe, or watching a sad movie and having it stick with you for hours. You've probably been told your whole life to stop overthinking or to not be so sensitive. Well, here's the game changer. This is not a personality flaw. It's a real, recognized neurological pattern. Some people call it being a highly sensitive person, or HSP, but I really like the term deep processor because it's not just about being sensitive. It's about the incredible depth of what's happening inside your mind and nervous system. Okay, so let's start with the science, with the biology, because it is so important to get this. This isn't some personal failing. It's literally baked into the wiring of your nervous system. Get this. Deep processors make up about 15 to 20% of the population. That's roughly 1 in every 5 people. And this trait shows up in every culture all around the world, which tells scientists that this is a totally normal and even important part of human diversity. You are so far from being alone in this. So what does it actually feel like to be a deep processor? Let's break down the core attributes, and as we go, see if you start to see a reflection of yourself in these details. First up, the thinking mind. And let's be clear, this is not about being slow, it's about being thorough. You don't just skim the surface of information, you dive in. You see the hidden connections, the patterns nobody else is noticing. This is why you probably have zero patience for small talk or superficial busy work. Next, and this is a huge one, is the responsive nervous system. Think of it like a high-fidelity microphone when everyone else has a standard one. It picks up everything. This is why loud noises, big crowds, even too much caffeine can feel like a total assault on your system. It's not you overreacting. Your body is literally processing more information. And of course, that means you need more quiet time to recharge. And then there's the emotional self. As a deep processor, you feel things with incredible intensity. The highs are higher and the lows are lower. This fuels this amazing capacity for empathy and a powerful sense of justice. But let's get something straight. Being emotionally deep is not the same as being emotionally fragile. It is a profound form of strength. You know, all of this leads to this really interesting duality, this experience of being a deep processor. It can be a superpower, or it can feel like a total curse. It really is two sides of the exact same coin. So let's talk about that shadow side for a second. When you're in an environment that just isn't built for your nervous system, like a loud, open-plan office or a schedule that's just packed with social events, this trait can feel like an impossible burden to carry. Do any of these look familiar? Getting stuck in those endless loops of overthinking, putting things off because the whole task just feels way too big, or that quiet, nagging feeling that you're just not built for this world. Just remember, if this is you, it's a sign of a misfit between you and your environment. It is not a defect in you.
But then, we flip the coin. What happens when you put yourself in an environment that actually aligns with your nature, where you have space to think, where your work has meaning? Well, that's when this very same trait becomes an absolutely profound gift.
This is where you come alive. Suddenly it's not overthinking, it's deep wisdom. It's not overwhelm, it's a calm, grounding presence for others. You're the one who can see the big picture, who can lead with thoughtfulness, and who can make those original contributions that really push society forward. And if you need a perfect example, just think about Albert Einstein. He was known for being a daydreamer, someone who is slow to speak, who struggled in a rigid school system. But his greatest discoveries came from that deep, slow, sensitive way of thinking. He didn't succeed despite his sensitivity. He succeeded because of it. Now you might be thinking, this is all some new discovery from modern psychology. But what if I told you that ancient wisdom traditions have been talking about people like you for thousands of years? Turns out, the Bhagavad Gita, one of the world's most sacred and ancient texts, actually has a language for this kind of nervous system. And it doesn't see it as a problem to be fixed. It sees it as a path to wisdom. It offers these incredible identities that map perfectly onto the deep processor. So the Gita gives us 3 amazing archetypes. First, there's Sthita Prajna. This means the one whose wisdom is steady. This is like the ultimate goal for a deep processor, to be able to feel everything, but to stay anchored, to not get swept away by the emotional waves. Then we have bhakta. This is the person who relates to the world through their heart. The text basically says that these empathetic, deeply connected people are the ones who are most cherished and valued. Your emotional depth is seen as a gift. And finally, dhira. This means the gentle and courageous one. And this just completely redefines our idea of strength, right? It's not about being aggressive or loud. It's about the quiet bravery it takes to be steady within your own deep sensitivity. Okay, so this is all beautiful, ancient wisdom. But how do we actually use it? How can we create a new, empowering identity for ourselves right here, right now? Well, we can combine these powerful ideas. Let's create a modern name from these ancient roots, Sthira Bhakta. Sthira means steady, and Bhakta, remember, is the heart-led being. So the steady, heart-led being, it just perfectly captures that combination of being deeply sensitive and at the same time inwardly strong. So you can think of it in a couple of ways. You can become the sensitive witness, the one who can observe all the chaos and sensation of the world without getting hijacked by it. Or you can be the steady-hearted one, the person who can hold incredibly deep, powerful feelings without collapsing under their weight. And really, if you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. The goal is never to stop feeling, to numb yourself, to become less sensitive. The real journey is to build the inner container, that inner strength, to hold all of that feeling, all of that depth, without falling apart. So I want to leave you with this final thought. It's a reframe you can say to yourself anytime you feel misunderstood by the world, or even by your own inner critic. It's simple, but it changes everything. I am not slow. I am deep.